Alrighty, hey guys, so I'm back again, but this is my official makeup tutorial. I don't even know if I want to call it a tutorial because I'm really just kind of inviting you guys into my space, into my, routine. I'm not really teaching you, but at the same time, I'm teaching y'all, so just stick along. So right now, I'm putting on my primer, and it's the NYX Face Glue Primer, and I really like this a lot. But I had to use a blow dryer because I didn't have time for it to dry. That's one thing about it. It really I would say it takes time to really absorb into your face. Right now I'm putting on powder. I'm using a white powder from Juvia's Place. I like my makeup to be matte, and so I like to put on powder before putting on my foundation. And right now I'm using my Lancome foundation. Truth be told, I really don't like this foundation as far as the color, but I like the texture and I like how I can build it up. I didn't have to use so many layers of foundation, and I feel like I got a nice coverage, so that was the most important part. Yeah. So I honestly forgot the name of this product, but I'm using a contour stick, and I'm just patting that, that shade into the outer parts of my face, just to kind of give me that slim look or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I like this product. It's cool. I'm definitely a brush girly, so I apply my makeup with only brushes for the most part. You'll see me use a makeup wedge at one point, but I'm a brush girl. I'm not really a beauty blender kind of person, so yeah. Even though I could have just applied this stick to my face, I just like using the brush because it helps me to blend out the product. So yeah. I have learned my lesson with this product, so you will see me kind of using a very not so generous amount, and I'm here literally just kind of saying it out loud, I'm only using a drop of it because it goes a long way. And I think this is also by Juvia's Place, and so I love it. I love the product. I just realized that I don't know, I don't think I should use that much because a little goes a long way. I believe this is my L'Oreal concealer, and yeah, I'm just putting it on the outer corner of my eye, and then I'll use a different concealer for something closer to my eye. And then I'm putting it on my T-zone area, on my nose, the bridge of my nose, and then my chin. Yeah, putting it just around those areas. And I like this foundation, I like this concealer a lot, actually. It kind of does the job, and it's a drugstore, so it's not too expensive. So ladies, if you need a nice concealer on the go, I would recommend this L'Oreal one. And so right here, I'm kind of deciding which concealer I want to use for to brighten up my eye. And I actually end up going with the one from e.l.f. So I have one that's I said, a drugstore, and then the other one, which is more high-end. I forgot the name of it, but I think we all know the brand. So yeah. sure that my brushes are moist, so you'll always kind of see me with a more of like a mystifying setting spray. I use that to just like refresh my brushes to make sure they're not too dry when I'm putting on my makeup, you know, because yeah, you don't want that, which is why I don't really like using a beauty blender. But yeah, so right now I'm just blending, and then I'll be back when I'm done blending. Favorite part, but I realized that this is the scariest part. This is where your face is going to look scary for 2 seconds. But like I said in the beginning, I'm a matte girl. I'm not really like a moisty, dewy kind of girl. I'm a matte girl. So this is pivotal. I guess people would call this baking, and I feel like baking has been canceled in 2025, but I like to bake my face. I've just learned techniques to make sure that like the baking doesn't look bad. But I'm a baking kind of girl, so yeah. So right here I'm using that white powder from Juvia's Place. I use that for the inner part of my eye, and then you're gonna see me use a different powder. It's by Huda Beauty. I'm using their yellow powder for the outer part of my eye and for like the remainder. Oh my goodness, the remainder of my face. Huda Beauty, if you ever watched this video, I don't like the packaging of the powder. I like the original packaging, but this packaging makes it kind of hard for me to get the powder, as you can see, out of the container for me to use my makeup wedge. So, makeup wedge, yes, I also use a makeup wedge when I like to bake my face or when I set my face, whatever you want to call it. I love using a makeup wedge. I don't use anything else. I don't use a brush. I don't use a beauty blender. I use specifically a makeup wedge. Why? Because you will get such precise results. That's the best way I can put it. But yeah, it helps with precision. And I like to carve out my face. So basically anywhere that I highlighted, I'll just go ahead and set that as well. So that's kind of like the secret. Like, how do you set your face? Like, how do you bake? You just basically like go over anywhere that you highlighted. this is from Too Faced. So right now I'm going in with my contour shade from Too Faced, like one of their pressed powders, and I love this powder. Like, I love it so much, and I'm just going in where I contoured my face and just setting that as well. It's important to set your contour and not just your highlighter or where you highlighted or where you concealed your face, but like also where you contour as well. I think this is from Juvia's Place too, but I went ahead and just, again, set my blush to anywhere that you put liquid makeup, you should always set it. So that's kind of just what I'm doing. Just going on top and, just adding more dimension to the blush that I had on my face already. So right now I'm just brushing my eyebrows. Normally my eyebrows can be more dramatic, but for this everyday look that I'm going for, I decided to just fill in my brows. Also, it's good to mention that my brows are micro shaded. Micro shaded. So they're showing up a little bit more. But before this, y'all, my eyebrows were barely visible. So if you want to do more than just fill in your brows, you can at this point. But now that my brows are somewhat more visible, I think I just want to go in with just filling them in and not really doing too much to mess up or change the shape of them. It was easier to kind of change the shape when my brows weren't really visible, but now that they are, it's I can't do too much. Otherwise I do feel like it just messes up I don't know, the look. And I feel like for an everyday look, my brows don't need to be as heavy if I'm not going to a big event, you know what I mean? I wasn't gonna wear any eyeshadow this day, and so yeah, I just decided to just kind of fill them in and let them kind of just look more natural. So right here I'm taking a powder and I'm using that powder to just kind of dust off the yellow powders, the white powders, just so that, that brightness can come down a little bit. And here I'm taking my eyeliner pencil. I don't like using a liquid eyeliner. I like using a regular one with, just for the texture. And I'm just kind of going around my eye with it. This is a big part. So for my eye shape, for my face, I don't know, I just feel like I look better with eyeliner. And so no matter if I'm doing a minimal or like a more dramatic makeup look, I'm always gonna wear eyeliner. So like, yeah, like kind of figure out what kind of enhances your face, what enhances your makeup, you know, and then stick with that. So for me, eyeliner is like, it's not optional, it's mandatory. But obviously, like, I'm not doing like a wing or anything, you know, I'm just kind of lining my eyes. It just gives me more depth. So yeah. Here, just trying to figure out which mascara I want to use, but I ended up going with that one in my hand, just because, not necessarily that it gives me a lot of length, the other one gives me a lot of length, but this one just, I don't know, just makes my eyebrows, my lashes just look very organized, if I should say, for lack of better words. It makes them look very organized, and then I go on with the other one just to give me like that extra length. And right here, I'm lining my lips. Y'all, I used to not line my lips, and I think that my makeup used to look really good. But when I started to line my lips, I just love I love the aesthetic. I love the effect that it gives. So I'm going to encourage you guys to line your lips, you know, especially if you're a woman of color. Go ahead and line your lips. I don't think it takes anything away from you. It just kind of helps to just gratify the makeup look and just make everything look more blended and smoother. So yeah, blend your lips, y'all. Blend your lips. And I use the same eyebrow pencil to just line my lips because it's like a nice shade of brown. Using the One Size spray to go ahead and lock in my face. Now, One Size is good for the matte girlies, so yeah, if you're not a matte girly, I maybe wouldn't suggest this to you, but it's good for the matte girlies. And look at my face, y'all, like, I'm good. And I'm practically done. I'm taking off my wrap, you know, that I used to lay down my frontal. Y'all, do not come for me. Please do not come for me. I didn't even really like install it or anything. I just put it on my head and put a little bit of glue to just hold me down for the day. And so please do not think this is how I really go outside, like all the time. No. Like I said before, I was rushing, so you know, I didn't have that much time. So I'm just combing up my hair, and then I'm just kind of figuring out like how I want to style it, because I have to get out the house literally. And so I ended up just kind of putting my hair in a bun, and yeah, you will see at the end. And right here, I'm just kind of trying to fix the part, blend the makeup, you know, blend the contour into the hairline of the wig. So yeah. That is the end of this video. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to get more makeup inspirational videos.